I'm just waiting for the mic.
Bien, vamos a continuar las sesiones programadas en el quinto Foro Internacional de Turismo Maspalomas, Costa Canaria, con dos conferencias, conferencia magistral, conferencia inaugural. La primera conferencia la va a impartir el profesor Dimitrios Buhalis. Él es director del Departamento de Hostelería y Turismo, director del Laboratorio Turismo y director del Centro Internacional de Investigación y Turismo Hostelería de la Universidad de Birmingham en Inglaterra. Es un experto estratega en gestión de marketing especializado en comunicación tecnológica en turismo, viajes y la industria del ocio. Tiene además un enfoque en todas sus investigaciones donde incluye el turismo inteligente, el marketing en el contexto de redes sociales y el mercado de móviles, gestión en experiencias estratégicas de comunicación de los medios, turismo accesible, entre otros. Yo creo que vamos a poder disfrutar de la extraordinaria experiencia del profesor Dimitrios Buhalis. Adelante.
Gracias. Buenos días a todos. I'll have to continue in English, I'm afraid. That's all my Spanish. I've been coming to Spain for a long time, more than 25 years. I'm Greek by origin, so I feel very at home here, and I've worked in many, many places, from Toledo, Madrid, Barcelona, all the way on the coastline. And I've been following your tourism very, very closely, partly because you're a huge competitor to Greece. And I really love your infrastructure. But the good news stops here. And what I'm going to tell you, yesterday when I was coming in, I was talking to Professor Jafari, and I said, should I be very polite or should I be pragmatic? And I've decided to be pragmatic. I'm going to talk about smart tourism, and I'm going to talk about the future and where we're going. In the last 25 years, tourism in Spain has not changed too much. There are very, very few innovations that are coming out. And I'll tell you which innovations I'm very, very pleased about. Is these ladies here, who are translating for people with disabilities. Because this is new in Spain. And thank you for doing that. It's for all the people with disabilities. The future of tourism is going to be very different from the future of the past. And many countries are sleepwalking to incompetitiveness. I've just noticed all the important people disappeared and another 100 people disappeared with them. So we are not looking into the future in the right way. Smart tourism is going to change everything we do. And I'll take you through several examples to show you where we're going. We're doing a lot of research in Bournemouth University about the digital ecosystems that are emerging in destinations, the disruption and the re-engineering that you find around the world, and the agility and the competitiveness that is required in the future. And that's going to define the competitiveness of the future. So this is where I'm coming from, Bournemouth University. I'm the head of the department there. I've got about 1,000 students. And my middle name now is child catcher, because I go around and I take their children away. And I take them to this place and we're teaching them about the future of tourism. So I've seen a lot of students here. Please come and study with us for your masters and learn where we're going to go in the future. And those of you who are professionals and you'd like to know where we're going to go, we're doing some short courses in March and February to explore some of those things. So what has changed? What has changed is technology. How many people here have got one mobile phone, smartphone? How many people here have got two mobile phones? How many people here have got three mobile phones? If anybody has got three mobile phones, we need to talk, yeah? Okay. There are three things that are happening. One is the Internet of Things. That means that everything will be connected to everything. Second thing is that open data. Data will be available, it will be big data, and they'll be available everywhere. And that will mean that we'll have a whole range of new opportunities to discuss in real time with our customers and provide exclusive, personalized, contextualized, individualized, memorable experience. And we will be able to develop those things, and we'll be able to do it dynamically. This is happening because of a whole range of disruptive technologies. I normally say to my students there's a test at the end of this, but there are a lot of things here that is disruptive in the marketplace and are very, very strategic. And those things are specifically collaborative economy, machine learning and artificial intelligence, blockchains, social business, big data and data science, the Internet of Things, and a lot of those things that are changing the way we operate. Who is a hotelier here? Anybody who is a hotelier? Travel agents? Travel agents, tour operators? Government? I started with 12. So you're not seeing an academic. You're seeing someone who has worked in the industry, still work in the industry, and operate on a global basis. And we've seen how things have changed and how the things are changing. But this is new. When I started working in the industry, the first evolution we had to deal with was the fax. Up at this time, we had rooming lists coming with a big bird with charter flights every Thursday. So my rooming list for my hotel was coming on a charter flight every Thursday. When I received my first fax, it was unbelievable. What? Someone put a piece of paper in Munich and arrived in Kos Island in Greece? Wow. And then one day I thought, imagine if we had a number that could carry us around, that we could have the same number everywhere we go. Wow. And now with the amount of technology that we see, it's kind of phenomenal. Because the technology knows so much about us before us. And increasingly what the technology is doing is enable us to communicate and engage with our surroundings. So we're the last generation to be lost. Because the technology will always know where we are and where is the nearest service provider. This is giving a whole range of different ball games. And what we're doing in tourism 5 and 10 years ago is irrelevant for the future of tourism. So those of you who are young and you are starting your career, the main difference in the world will be the way that we're going to deal with customers in a very different approaches. So I started dealing with technology about 30 years ago when we moved from fax to computers and things like that. But at that time, we had what we called e-tourism, where you have a mono-organization, you had then one-to-one relations, and you had linear actions. Increasingly, we're going to many-to-many and non-linear relationships. We're going to network and interoperable systems and networks. We're going to systems where everything is real-time and it's co-created, personalized, and contextualized. And we've got a lot of ad hoc networks that we're able to develop things. This is changing the nature of industry. It is changing marketplaces and changing everything that we do. And it's changing tourism as well as a consequence of that. Quite often I've got to deal with my mother who says, come on, you're always talking about change and things are going to happen, but actually nothing happens. And I keep saying you have seen nothing because things are moving very, very fast. So in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been dealing with smartness, and this is the research that we're developing, and understanding what is smart. And the problem we've got is that people around the world, they always think that they do smart things. So I always challenge them and say, who thinks that they're doing smart things? Here, how many people think that they're really smart and they're doing smart things in their business? Nobody? How many people think that you're doing smart things in your business? How many people think that you're doing stupid things in your business? Smartness takes advantage of the new technology and the interconnectivity and interoperability to re-engineer process and data in order to produce innovative services, products, and procedures towards maximized value for all stakeholders. It's all about how do we get the network to work together, and how can we shape new products and actions to create memorable experience and to optimize the impacts for all stakeholders. This is quite difficult because you really need to bring everybody together to plug and play in the system and operate together. Smartness is not about innovation, and it's not about information technology. It's not about digitization. It's not about evolution. It's not about social media. It's not about reservations. Smartness is all about interoperability and interconnectivity of networks to create mutual benefits for everybody who is involved. Smartness is really about real-time, dynamic, and adaptive. So I checked in yesterday in my hotel, and this beautiful girl called Eva says, "Welcome, how are you doing?" And I said to Eva, I thought that there's, is there a swimming pool, internal swimming pool? She said, no, but normally the weather is good. But today the weather is bad. So I said, okay, Eva, so if the weather is bad, what do I do? Eva looked at me and said, can you wait for the weather to be good again? No. So it's all about the adaptation to, adaptability to real time. It's all about engaging in real time into your context and really creating the real memorable experience. It's all about customization, individualization, contextualization. It's all about understanding who is the customer who is standing in front of you and create a personalized experience. It's all about the customer of one. And we are not used to deal with the customer of one. We are used to deal with tour operators. We used to deal with buses of people coming. We used to deal with a lot of people. And guess what? This is creating a whole range of new issues. But smartness is about value creation for all the stakeholders. Everybody who is engaged in this business can get benefits out of this new era. Smartness is driven by smart travelers. And the smart travelers are continuously doing a whole range of things to engage with their context and their environment. The simple thing that you see is the TripAdvisor report. But what they are looking for is personalized services. What can I do? What is my own personal value that I can create on the very little period that I've got here and I can spend with you? How can I contextualize and engage the environment? How can I co-create the experience? And how can I share the experience with everybody outside? The new customer is engaging with technology. They'll be taking a lot of pictures, like many of you are doing. By the way, if you take any pictures of me, please hashtag Buhalis, because my mother is following them. Control their own experience and personalize across all stages of their travel, before, during, and after. It's really critical that we serve the customer before, during, and after. Before they arrive to a destination, during what they're there, and where they're living. I always have an argument with tourist boards around the world because they're spending all their money and time to bring the customer into the destination, and then they leave it at the mercy of the taxi drivers, of the restaurants, of all the people who are serving them to actually deal with it. And I always say to people, you really need to manage the experience during the visit. And you really need to engage in that kind of creating memorable experience. So the smart traveler is going to be looking to personalize, contextualize services. It will engage and explore the environment. It will be looking for authentic and immersive experience with real things. So what is real in Gran Canaria? What's real in Spain? What is real? What is the authentic experience that you do? And we'll be looking to all that at all stages. At the planning stage, at the dreaming space, at the planning space, then at the experience stage, and then at the sharing space after the event. We'll be spending believes on marketing. Marketing is always fantastic. People will be looking to get the best knowledge and the best experience based on other people's eyes, how they have experienced their life. And that will influencing legacy thinking. We're still operating in the 80s principle. Bring them in, stack them in, and get them out. And the next group is coming. And that's a model that is failing. And let me tell you that as a friend. Spain is overexposed to this model. You've got too much mass tourism. and you really need to think about it as a country. Because it's mass scale, but where is the personality? Where is the engagement? Where is the person to person? Where is the understanding? Things that you are doing in the 70s actually were much more personalizable than they are now. And the customer is moving. And I think we're sleepwalking to a situation where we're not going to be competitive. So what's happening is that increasingly, the tourist product will be dependent on the context. Internal context of what I like, what's my personal likes, what's the topics of interest, what's the personal events, the abilities and disabilities, and the external factors. What the weather is like, what the political situations like, what are the emergencies, what are the strikes, and all the rest of it. And all that will create what we call SOCOMO marketing. SOCOMO marketing is really using social media, mobile, and context-based marketing. Understanding all these things and blending in real time. So on the one side here, you've got the travelers. So the travelers have got different needs and different requirements. And they engage in different experience. On the other side, you've got the travel industry, all the resources, and everybody who is providing services. And in the middle, you've got this area where you create magic. This is the magic creation. But the magic creation is not based on numbers. The magic creation is based on the ability to engage with customers at a personalized, individualized, contextualized kind of environment and provide that memorable experience that they'll go around and say, it's worth living that moment because I went to that place and I had that experience. So when you go back to your business, can you check it out? Can you check out when you create and how you create that magical experience? What's happening is that people will have all the data and they'll integrate on their mobile phone. And as they're going around with their mobile phones, 1, 2, 3, they'll be dealing with their environment in real time. We'll have beacons that they're going to be sending a lot of information, and we will be creating value in that way. So what's going to happen is we are going to create all kinds of data from the tourism suppliers that is coming from all kinds of suppliers. It's going to go up to the cloud, where we're going to have a lot of technological evolution. We'll have artificial intelligence to do data mining. Then we'll be working with value aggregators, and we'll be creating a storm of value that's coming back to the consumer. And that value is then going to be coming over again to suppliers. Now, this is a theoretical framework that we're developing in Bournemouth University, but it's always worked like that. For tourism, it has always worked like that, right? We are collecting data, we analyze the data, we create value, we come back, we provide more for customers. What's the difference? The difference is that in the past, this circle used to take 3 or 4 years. Your tourism statistics are coming back 1.5 years, 2 years after they happen. I don't care about what happened 2 years ago. I'm not a historian. What I care about is what happened last month and what's going to happen next month and what's going to happen next year. So it's the predictive element of this that's absolutely critical. And the second thing that is saying is that this thing now, it's taking seconds. I'm going to understand what's happening. The weather is really bad. I'm going to send you. I'll collect all this information. I'll collect the information. How many people are in the Gran Canaria right now? And where are they based exactly? And I'm going to send them coupons to go into internal things. So yesterday when I came to the airport, they gave me a map to go to the Aqualand. I wouldn't go to the Aqualand today, but I'll go to a bowling, I'll go to a cinema, I'll go to an indoor attraction today, right? And that is the element of contextual information that we need to start understanding. So this used to take 2 years to complete. Now it takes 2 seconds. And takes 2 seconds because the customer is looking for what I'm going to do in 3 hours' time. How am I going to engage? We will need to manage the whole experience, from dreaming, from planning, from booking, for experiencing, for facing. As far as technology is concerned in tourism, we've done everything we can on the booking element. Hopefully all your booking things should be all right. And at the end of the day, Booking.com has taken over the market, and you're happily giving 25% to Booking.com and Expedia to bring you customers. So 1/4 of your income goes straight to Booking.com or Expedia. If you're still working with TUI, Thomas Cook, and all the rest of it, half of your income is going to them, right? So anyway, this beat is more or less sorted out. What the beat that we're working on in developing innovation is here, is the dreaming and the planning phase, and more importantly, on the experience and the sharing phase. And what's happening in the past, people will experience something, they'll go home, and then they'll share. They'll write the TripAdvisor review, they'll post the pictures. What's happening now is that people streaming live. Here is my breakfast. Yeah? So what's happening is that increasingly you don't have the time even to react to these things, because you really need to be in real time, understanding where the customer is and responding back to the customer. So if someone says, look at my breakfast, I don't like this, you should be going back and say, I'm sorry that you don't like your breakfast, what for you? Can I improve your breakfast? But if someone says, hey, this is a wonderful breakfast, you need to take that picture and say to the world, look, my customers say I'm having a wonderful breakfast. And it's not me who is saying that, because of course I'll say that because I'm a marketeer, but my customer is saying that. So you'll buy advocacy. So we're going to a next stage where you'll have interconnected stakeholders that they'll use all kinds of technology platforms to engage in dynamic dialogue with their customers and all the stakeholders. That will mean a very different profile. Most of the hoteliers I know in these countries, they've got 3 or 4 customers, the tour operators, and they are doing their sales things 2 or 3 times a year. Increasingly, every single customer will be coming through, and every single customer will have multiple contacts per day. The ecosystem will be creating, it will be enabled by technology, big data, and connectivity. It will use dynamic, strategic, and tactical marketing to co-create memorable experience, all driven by agility. We'll be agile to understand who do we have in front of us, and why is this person there, and what this person requires. So this my latest model that's coming out, which is basically how do we get information from everybody in the industry to create input? How do we process the data in real time with data storage, treatment, and analytics? And then how do we take strategies to create value for everybody who's engaged? This actually, we finished 3 days ago, so it's not published yet, but you'll see it coming up. And in order to do that, it needs to engage a whole range of different stakeholders, all the way from global, from governments, from smart city, from clusters, from organizations, and tourists and citizens. Most of the politicians do not understand any of these things. There are very, very few politicians who understand these things. And that's why I'm really, really concerned that we're sleepwalking to incompetence. And of course, people say, you know, you keep telling us all these things, but we've been doing tourism for a long time, you know. Why do you think that everything is changing? And increasingly, we find disruption. We find all kinds of disruption. I'll give you one disruption that everybody is talking about here, Airbnb. And especially in Spain, with so many second homes, there's a major issue with Airbnb. And I know Excel Tour and my friend Jose Luis Zoreda is spending a lot of time doing a lot of lobbying with your government on that. But also Uber, disrupting all kind of marketplaces and changing the way we work. But I'll give you some other very interesting changes that are happening out there as well. This is from my trip in China a couple of months ago, where what they do is there are 4 companies that they're doing bicycles, but they're doing the innovation there is they're dockless bicycles. You can take a bike from wherever you like and leave it wherever you like. Most of the bikes that we do in most of European places is basically from one place to another. If it's convenient, that's fine. If it's not convenient, I'm sorry, but this is where the dock is. What the Chinese are doing is they've got these bikes, and the yellow ones are Ofo, and the blue ones are another company, And you can collect the bike from wherever the bike is, and you can leave the bike wherever you like to leave the bike. So what happens is that you get a number of the bike, and you get an application, you get the bike, you go wherever you like, and you just leave the bike. Which means that the bikes are distributed, and the bikes are everywhere. And the bikes are convenient because they give you value. And they give you value because you take the bike from the nearest point and you leave it to wherever you like to leave it. And the bike is very, very clever because it's got GPS, it's got all kinds of technologies on it. And it's engaging because people can actually operate with the bike in a whole range of way and design. So that simple innovation has brought the major disruption in China. The Chinese people do not own bikes anymore because they don't need to own bikes anymore. Because someone is giving them a better value. They don't have to repair the bikes, they don't have to buy the bikes, they don't have to look after the bikes. They've got a bike when they need the bike. And this will change, this will come to cars, this will come to sharing economy, this will come to a lot of other things. Now, I'd like to leave you with one major disruption that is coming up. This is robots. And this is the robotic hotel in Japan that's called Hena. That you do check-in with robotics. Who like to do a check-in with a robot? And who like to do a check-in with a human being? Who prefers human beings? Who likes robots? Who couldn't decide? Okay. Well, I'll tell you that this robot is speaking 50 languages. It's up there all day, all night. You don't have to pay extra for overtime. It's never tired. It hasn't got personal problems. Occasionally breaks down. I can tell you that that robot is speaking better English than the driver who picked me up yesterday from the airport. This is a robot for cleaning. Yeah. This is a robot for cleaning and housekeeping. Anybody who really likes cleaning here? Anybody who really likes to do this job? And this is a robot for room service. It's called Jives. It brings you coffee at 3 o'clock in the morning, or it gives you a soup, or whatever, in your room. It doesn't break. You don't have to pay it extra because it's in the middle of the night. And it's very efficient in doing that. These are disruptions, my friends, that are coming now, and we need to look at them. If you look around your industry, if you look around our industry, we operate in an 80s model. Anybody who likes to wear them? Who likes to wear a wristband? Anybody? Why do you think I would like to wear one? Smartness is not about technology. It's about agility and create value ecosystems. This is something I got in China from my chambermaid, who said that because I was doing a conference, he gave me sweeties to protect my throat. Thank you very much. Gracias.
Agradecemos. ¿Vale? Agradecemos. A vender. Sí. ¿El micrófono? Sí. Por favor. Bien. La extraordinaria conferencia aportada por el profesor Dimitrios Buhalis. Bueno, mientras tanto, vamos a hacer la presentación de don José Ramón Díaz Guijarro. Él es licenciado en Ciencias Económicas y Empresariales por la Universidad Complutense de Madrid. También tiene un máster universitario en finanzas por la ICADE. Él es un experto